the National Assembly illegitimately ratify an illegitimate gazette sent by the president. That's exactly so. Illegality is ratifying illegality. Why? Because if the constitution specified a certain number that the National Assembly must meet, they must form that quorum before they can have the capacity to even vote to ratify the issue on ground. 2/3, they're supposed to do a head count or a roll call. They call your name, you answer, you'll be counted. So that they'll be sure that they met the 2/3 of the number before voting can start. In the US, any voting, once they vote, you see the name of who voted, whether he voted yea or nay, you will see it clear. They will publish it. And that's how the constituents will begin to know if the man or the woman is representing their interests. But in our own climate, no. How can you use voice votes to determine 2/3? Those in favor say aye, those against say nay. For 2/3, that's illegitimate. That's illegal. That's exactly what Jonathan was saying. That they know the right thing to do, but they refuse to do it. That is why it's difficult to wake up someone who is pretending to be sleeping. But it's easy to wake someone who is sleeping. Hello, my people. Welcome once again to my channel. This is Andy Media TV. All right. I was watching a video, where the former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was speaking to the press. And his speech dovetailed from the recent, declaration of state of emergency in the state of Rivers. You all are aware that a few days ago, the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, citing Section 305. This state of emergency that was declared angered the citizen because the necessary conditions as outlined in Section 305 of the Constitution, where he was drawing inference from, were not readily present in the state. And however, he went ahead to declare state of emergency. And what still, he suspended an elected governor, the deputy governor, and also all the members of the legislature in Rivers State. This has been the bone of contention. People were like, oh, even if you are declaring state of emergency, whatever it is, you are not supposed to suspend an elected governor, deputy governor, and the members of the legislature because it was not written in our constitution. All right, but members of his cabinet, members of his team have come out to defend the nonsense that was done in Rivers State. And the most worrisome was the statement coming from the Attorney General of the Federation, who's supposed to advise the president professionally to know that suspension of elected officers is unconstitutional and repugnant to the Nigerian Constitution. Don't forget that even the Supreme Court has held a judgment stating that you cannot suspend or remove an elected officer except you follow the dictates of the Constitution on how such officers can be removed, which include that if the officer resigned, if the officer died, if the officer is incapacitated, maybe as a result of sickness or disease or mental illness, and if there is impeachment, or the officer finished his tenure. These are part of the things that the Constitution specified on how to remove an elected officer. There is nowhere in Nigerian Constitution where it is written that the president has the prerogative power to suspend a governor, a deputy governor, or members of the legislature. So these guys has totally violated the Constitution, which they swear an oath to defend, to protect, and to abide with. Now, looking at what happened in Rivers State, it is just a battle for the control of the resources of Rivers State. Rivers State is an oil-rich region. They collect allocation from the federal government plus 13% derivatives, which is accruing to all the 9 Niger Delta states, that is the oil-producing states. It's just a kind of a privileged seed money recognized by Nigerian law to be given to them because of the degradation that they suffer as a result of oil exploration. So based on this fact, they have enormous resources in their possession. And Nwike, who has been the architect of this problem, has been a governor for 8 years in this same state. So he knows the amount of resources that the state controls at every given month. So based on that, he was fighting to remain in control of Rivers State, to control the political architecture, and to also control the resources. And that was why he single-handedly, according to him, procure funds, install the incumbent governor and the members of the legislature, so that he can be able to manipulate them and control them at every given time. The same Governor Nwike then, who is now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, also has said it in different forums, how he single-handedly made them governor, deputy governor, speaker, and members of legislature. He's not hiding it. But nobody has ever picked him up which I was expecting the EFCC to do. How did he get the money to procure forms for all of these people? Nobody has questioned him. Nobody was interested because we know the salary of a governor. So procuring form that worth like 10 million, 100 million for each of these individuals. How did he get the money? Nobody cared to answer. Nobody cared to question. Don't forget that in Lagos State, there was battle in the House of Assembly where the former speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was impeached and Mojisola Miranda was sworn in as the new speaker. When Obasa came back from the United States, because he was away in the United States when he was impeached, he came back parading himself as speaker and nobody arrested him. Rather, he was given retinue of security, including police, civil defense, and what have you, to protect him and also led him to the House of Assembly to force his way into the chamber. And today, the president also intervened there by asking the new speaker, Mojisola Miranda, to resign from her position so that Obasa can be reinstated. When they refused, it was a tug of war. The president did not declare state of emergency in Lagos State at that time. So why Rivers? Why Rivers State? At the end of the day, Mojisola Miranda was forced out of her position. She was asked to resign, and Obasa was later sworn in again as the new speaker because Mr. President needs him for his plan in 2027 for Lagos State. So now, with all that has happened, the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was briefing the press and stating the obvious, that is very unfortunate what is going on in the country. How sad it is, that our leaders are unable to do what is right. Not that they don't know what is right, but that they lack the capacity, or that they just decided not to do what is right. Anyway, I'm going to play you that video so that we hear from the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. But before that, if you are new to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel and press that notification bell so that when my next video drops, you will be able to be notified on time and you will catch all the news as it is hot. Also, don't forget to like and share this video. Let every other person begin to understand what is transpiring in our country, Nigeria. All right, so let's watch this video and hear what former President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has to say. And we'll be right back to analyze the key points that he has raised. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
And of course, what is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in Rivers State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do. But they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody. And sometimes we do things and we think that it doesn't affect us. I've been a president before, and even after leaving office as a former president, people get to me. Why is that our passport is not valued that much? Why is that Nigerians are not given the kind of treatment we're supposed to receive at international airports? Sometimes we think it's because of Yahoo boys or 419ers. No, not only them. Yes, they are part of the problem. But whatever happens in the country, decisions that are taken by the executive arm of government, decisions that are taken by the parliament, judicial decisions affect everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised, where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that country because we are taking a big risk. So whatever we do affects everybody. And if we must build a nation for our children and our grandchildren, no matter how painful it is, we must strive to do what is right. It may cost us, but we must endeavor and pay the price to insist on doing what is right. Whether you're holding an executive office as a president, a minister, or a governor, or a special advisor, or executive, whether you're holding an office in the parliament, senate, or rep, whether you're a judicial officer at the high courts or appellate courts, we must strive to do what is right. If we want to build a nation that our children will be proud of.
All right, welcome back. You've heard what Jonathan has said. Don't forget, during his tenure as president, right, he also declared state of emergency in 3 states in the northeastern Nigeria. When there was Boko Haram crisis in Borno, in Adamawa, and in Yobe state, he declared state of emergency, but he did not remove the sitting governor. He did not suspend or remove the members of the legislature in those states. They were there performing their responsibilities, while the military and the other security architecture takes care of the security problem at that time. And that is exactly what the Constitution specified. The Constitution has in no place from page 1 to the end specified or written or stated that during state of emergency, an incumbent governor, deputy governor, or members of the legislature should be suspended. On no account did the Constitution state that when they are suspended, that you have to appoint a former military, a sole administrator to come and manage the affairs of the state. What President Tinubu has done is highly unconstitutional, and it's unfortunate that he has the Ministry of Justice with him. And I wonder why the Supreme Court is sitting quiet, as the case may be. Don't forget that the same Supreme Court came into this matter and declared that the resources of Rivers State should not be released to the governor, elected governor, for that matter. And the office of the Accountant General withheld the allocation. All right? Because Nwike and his godson are fighting, the entire state will suffer. The members of civil service will suffer because they're not going to get paid. The contractors, their consultants, whoever is working for the state is not going to get paid, including contractors who are doing roads and whatever projects, because two people are fighting. And their reason was that the state does not have a constituted House of Assembly because of the crisis going on there, right? And it was asked to represent budget and all that. Now the point is, that same allocation, which the Supreme Court has mandated should not be released, is now being released to the sole administrator, who is unconstitutionally appointed to manage the affairs of the state. There's no place in the Constitution that it is written that a sole administrator will be appointed to manage the affairs of the state. But the resources that was not given to someone that was elected will be given to someone that was appointed by the president. The platform that brought him is unconstitutional, is illegal, but he can have access to the resources of the state. So that's why I'm trying to let you guys know that whatever is happening in Rivers State is about the resources of Rivers State. This guy they need these resources to be able to take up 2027 election that is around the corner. And secondly, Nwike want to control the architecture of the state, the political architecture of the state. But the key facts Goodluck Jonathan has said in that video was that, one, no investor will come to a country where the judicial system is in shambles. And I've said this in most of my videos, that there are parameters every investor analyze before they come into any nation for investment. And they include the rule of law. If they fall out in their business and they take the matter to court, what is the probability that they will get justice? These are part of the things investors look at. But look at our Nigerian judiciary. Look at how they have been captured totally. That the FCT minister is almost in control of the judiciary. After all, he's building houses for them, right? Why would that be? Why would the executive be building houses for the judiciary? That's capturing. If judiciary need their apartment, they put it in their own budget, and the money will be released to them, and they do whatever they want to do for themselves. Not that the executive is building house for the judiciary. That's an abuse of separation of power. So because of this infrastructure they are developing for them, why wouldn't they play along with them? Now, President Jonathan has flagged it. Being a former president, he knows what it takes to woo investors in. And don't forget that this incumbent president, Bola Tinubu, has traveled to about 5 countries of the world. How many investors has he brought in? How many? And how much is the investment? And I've made a video. If you check my profile, you're going to see the video I did, where the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, did not leave the shores of his country. And he has attracted, as of today, over $3 trillion worth of investment. In fact, as I'm speaking right now, the UAE has already pledged to invest, I think, about 1.4 trillion or thereabout. If you put everything together, President Trump has already cornered close to $4.something trillion investment within a space of 2 months. He did not travel out to anywhere to woo the investors. He sat in his Oval Office, he sat in his house in Malalogo, and all the investors are coming to meet him. Why? Because he has that personality. What personality do Nigerian president have? So which investor will trust such person? So which investor will come to put his money in his hands? Nobody. Look at how terrible the judiciary is today. You can't trust them. You can't rely on them. When cases go to court, they will leave the substance of the case and they will be looking for technicalities to knock off the case. At the end, justice is not served. Why should you be deciding cases based on technicalities and leaving the main substance of the case? Look at what is going on around Natasha and the Senate president. The court is trying. I read today that Federal High Court has granted word for Natasha's recall. You remember they did kangaroo, something, trying to deceive her constituency that they are doing empowerment program for them, so they can collect their signatures and their card numbers to be able to formulate a list that her constituency has recalled her. But thank God, some people who are smart enough was able to decode that this is something fishy, and then they were able to leave the scene. Why do you want to recall the woman? Because she's charging the Senate president that he sexually harassed her. And she said on air that the National Assembly is run like a cult. And you can see that. Just look at the ratification of the state of emergency that the president sent to them as a gazette for them to ratify. Look at what happened. Seriake Dixon, the former governor, cannot even speak. The Senate president was trying to gaslight him and shut him down. Look at the other guy in the House of Reps who was flagging, let us do head count to be sure that we met the 2/3 requirement. The speaker shut him down. And there had been an allegation that about $10,000 was shared. That's yet an unconfirmed report. I read this morning from Punch and Vanguard, where Senator, Ume, from the Labour Party was saying that he did not collect all the money. He wasn't even there in the meeting. He doesn't know what they're saying and all that. So if you are collecting money to ratify state of emergency, that's exactly what Jonathan was saying. That they know the right thing to do, but they refuse to do it. That is why it's difficult to wake up someone who is pretending to be sleeping. But it's easy to wake someone who is sleeping. That's a serious proverb. Now, when you look at what happened, the National Assembly illegitimately ratified an illegitimate gazette sent by the president. That's exactly so. Illegality is ratifying illegality. Why? Because if the Constitution specified a certain number that the National Assembly must meet, they must form that quorum before they can have the capacity to even vote to ratify the issue on ground. 2/3, they're supposed to do a head count or a roll call. They call your name, you answer, you'll be counted. So that they'll be sure that they met the 2/3 of the number before voting can start. In the US, any voting, once they vote, you see the name of who voted, whether he voted yea or nay, you will see it clear. They will publish it. And that's how the constituents will begin to know if the man or the woman is representing their interests. But in our own climate, no. How can you use voice votes to determine 2/3? Those in favor say aye, those against say nay. For 2/3, that's illegitimate, that's illegal. What kind of people do we have in this 10th assembly? The man holding the gavel is just bulldozing everybody. Tell me one bill that the government have brought to National Assembly that they even discussed to, show tenacity that no, do it this way, amend it. Anything the man brings, approve. I need jet, approve. I need yacht, approve. I need anything, approve. In fact, some of the bills, they do it under 2 hours. They will go first reading, second reading, and third reading in 2 hours. We have seen Senator Tony Nwoye, right, shouting in the house. Why are you treating us like this? We can't even debate bill. You just stampede us to do something. We saw the video is there. That's how they run the place, like a cult, just like Senator Natasha Akpoti has said. Their job is to hold the executive accountable, to be a watchdog. What are they doing? They are not. They are not watchdog. They are not holding the executive accountable. Once you send loan request, they approve. Our children will be paying. Buhari came, printed over 23 trillion, moved it to Nigerians to be paying. They siphoned the whole money with the central bank governor. Today, it's only central bank governor that is answering question. Where are the other people who siphoned the money with him? Where are they? Buhari is in his village. His aides who siphoned the part of the money, they are also somewhere enjoying life abroad now. And only MFL is held. This is the kind of country that we run. The global community, they are watching. Whatever people are doing, investors are watching. People are watching. At the end of the day, you won't see any. If you travel the whole world looking for investors, nobody will show up. If you go to 1,000 countries, you will not get up to 5 investors because they will read about Nigeria. They will see the news going on. They will see the reports going on. They will see how people are shouting and crying. And then we know this is not an investment destination. Look at Landmark in Lagos, how they demolished the Landmark resort. After demolishing the road, they suspended doing the road through that route. And you want investor to come in. That's exactly what Jonathan is talking about. The guy has moved to Enugu now to handle Nike resort. Lagos is losing revenue. Enugu will start getting huge revenue. People lost their jobs. That's the kind of country that we run. So President Jonathan was apt in what he said. That these guys, it's not that they don't know the right thing to do, but they just refuse to do the right thing. That's why he said they pretend to be sleeping. And for you to wake them up is more difficult because they know what they're doing. They know they are not sleeping, but they are acting as if they are sleeping. So they know what they are doing. And they are playing on the intelligence of Nigerians. When they do anything, they release the army. But time is coming when people will choose to die than not to talk. By then, even the army will be overwhelmed and taken over. Let them continue to be doing what they are doing. Time will come when their system will no more work. What is difficult? To use the resources of a country to work for that country. Look at President Trump. He initiated the, people that are wealthy that want to come to you that doesn't have access. He created a platform for them. You pay $5 million, you get green card and work your way to citizenship. Today, they have sold about 1,000 of that ticket in one day. So they have made like 50 billion. In one day, they sold 1,000, multiplied by 5 million. People that are thinking. The moment he won, he has already set up his cabinet, sent the list immediately. The first day he was sworn, he signed executive orders, trying to restructure the country and make it work. But who do we have? How many months? Buhari took him 8 months. This one, it took him how long? And what kind of minister does he have? What are they doing? Is there anything that is working? I can only count 2 people or maybe 3 people. If you count Keyamo in the aviation, that are working hard. You count the Minister of Interior. Yes, he's doing something. And I've heard that Nwike is doing roads in Abuja. I don't know. The one that said is Minister of Works. I don't know where the road is building. I don't know. And people are doing their 30-day rant. Nobody will go and listen to what they are saying there to begin to see what they can do to change some certain things. No, they will tell them, if you finish ranting, you go and sleep. And they do what they are doing. They forgot that they are there to serve the citizens. They are there to do what the citizens want, not what they want. That's why they said, if you want to be the greatest, be the servant. That's why he's in the office of the president, controlling the power there, right? But is he serving Nigerians? No, it's not. Look at the economy. If you like, change the rebasing system, rebase how they do GDP and all this thing, so that inflation number can come low. No, go to the market. That's why you will know what is inflation. It's not about the numbers MBS is releasing. No, that's not the issue. Go to the market. Go to the housing sector. Go there. You will understand what is inflation. So what they are doing is highly unfair to the citizens of the country. So President Jonathan has spoken. If they want to listen and make amends, good for them. If they choose to continue the way they are going, well, Syria just fell and the president ran away to Russia, right? You guys will soon get to that point. Because in Nigeria today, there's hunger in the land. People can't feed. Money is useless. You can't even buy anything. I saw people, a lady, that just went to the market. One onions is 300, naira. One onions, just one ball of onions, medium size of onions, 300. Ogo will normally buy 50 naira. It's 500. So how much is the people's pay per month? 70,000 minimum, which they are not even paying, as the case may be. Many of them are not paying it. The copper girl, they are not paying them. And you people are enjoying life. Borrow loan, spend it on yourself, sell crude oil, enjoy the proceed, and Nigerians are suffering. The people who own the crude, the Niger Delta people who own the crude are suffering. So I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand. Look at how this man, within 2 months, is transforming the United States. He's changing a lot of things. Those who, are on the other side, yes, they may not like what he's doing, but what he's doing is what the people who voted for him wants him to do for them. And that was it. So, I don't know. But President Jonathan, thank you for speaking out and thank you for condemning the illegality and the nonsensical state of emergency that they did in River State. Thank you for condemning that. You did it before and you did it properly according to Constitution. But this one is autocratic government in disguise. That's exactly what it is. They don't care what people say. They don't care how people feel. They don't care about what they do. They only care to do what they want to do and achieve what they want to achieve for themselves. That is the bottom line of this issue. So, guys, I'm going to let it slide. We will keep talking and talking and talking, hoping that one day our voices will be heard and changes will start coming. But it will be very unfortunate and sad when Nigerians are pushed to the wall and they push back. I don't think it's going to be nice and good for them all. However it may sound, we are here to be objective and to speak truth to power. That's what we are here for. So you do well, we praise you. You don't do well, we tell you don't do well. We do constructive criticism. Any day President does something good, I praise him. Any day he do the one that is not good, that is not in line with our constitution, I will speak out. That's how to build a nation. People cannot just be docile, start talking. So, Mr. President, please revisit this your state of emergency. It's 6 months. You have right to at least look at it and cut it down in 1 month. The military should restore peace and order, restore the normal executives in the state, and that's it. Nigerians are very obedient. Otherwise, in another place, this kind of thing happen. We would have seen crisis, serious one. But Nigerians are obedient. So you have to give that to them, and then revisit this issue and let it end immediately. I got a wind that some top guys in Rivers, Peter Odele and the rest of them are already meeting. They are trying to set up a meeting and discuss this in between the warring parties and see how they resolve it. That's fine. But I don't see the reason why you cannot tell Wike to hands off from Rivers State. Why? You're a godfather in Lagos, and you know the implications. Your own you are doing. You are not creating this kind of tension. But why should he be doing this kind of thing and you cannot call him to order? Your employee, for that matter. Well, I don't know your part with him for the next coming election and all that. But all the same, I'm going to leave it there. And guys, my comment section is open for you guys. So feel free to like and share this video and put down your comment in the comment section. I assure you, I'm going to respond to your comments at all times. So guys, subscribe to my channel if you are new here, and then put on the notification bell so that once my next video drops, you'll be among those to be notified. Don't miss this news. Don't miss these things when it's hot. You need it to get it hot, hot, hot. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll be signing out right now, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya. I'm signing out.